Hey YouTube, this is Ryan making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button and also please consider subscribing as it is very much appreciated. This is my overview of the Svord Von Tempsky Bowie. The Svord Von Tempsky Bowie is my latest acquisition. I did an initial impressions video just recently, a few days ago, and I've had a chance to customize it slightly. I've added a lanyard, a basic thumb loop lanyard with a little skull bead and a bit of a snake knot lanyard. It's just a basic thumb loop lanyard. I originally camoformed the handle because with the hardwood handles on these Von Tempskys, during chopping, they transfer a lot of vibrations through the handles and it really jars your hands through heavy chopping on them. And the best solution I've found is just to wrap them in camoform. I originally wrapped it up and it was too thick, and so I took several layers off, and I think I've got it to the perfect situation now where it's just thick enough to give, as you can see here, it's still several layers deep on it. It's still thick enough to give enough comfort to dampen the vibrations, but also and thick enough to still give enough comfort as well. So there it is up close with the camoform. I've tried to basically get a little bit thicker here at the back and a little bit thinner up the end, so your handle, as your hand fits in here. There it is in the hammer grip. They've put a really generous handle length on here. I've got extra large hands, and I've still got quite a large bit left, and then thumb loop when you loop up. And with these large Bowies, you have to have a thumb loop on it. So just for safety, you don't want these things flying out of your hands. So you have to loop up. And these thumb loops, I found, are the best types. You just put your thumb in there, you just loop it around, and they are perfectly safe once they're looped up like that. A lot of the competition choppers, this is how they loop up, I've noticed. And it's a simple loop. Going around here, around your wrist, it's not so good. I can't really do it on camera. It'll just drop and swing free, which is not ideal because you've got basically a sharpened 11-inch piece of steel swinging freely around, but it's better than flying around basically a sharpened projectile, 2-pound sharpened projectile flying around, stabbing into bystanders. But anyway, I'll post all the details of it in the description bar, and I'll go through the overview now for it. The Von Tempsky Bowie is a The current model is they use 15N20 steel. I wasn't very knowledgeable about that steel. I have looked it up. It's a high carbon steel, prone to rusting, apparently. So, renowned for its toughness. Older models were in L6. They are somewhat similar steels. Apparently, the 15N20 has other. I continually keep it coated in oil, so I will recoat it. That's why I'm rubbing it down now so I don't get oil all over the joint. L6 and 15N20 are similar steels. They are different steels, but both high carbon steels, both renowned for being very, very tough steels. So that's why they've been chosen. Current model Von Tempskys or Svord knives seem to be all made in the 15N20s. Earlier models were L6. Mine is the current model, so it's in 15N20. Come with a hardwood handle under the thing. Very nice. Full tang. Thick guard. This S guard. Fit and finish is quite good. All the fit. There's no gaps or anything like that. It's all really well done. All the fit on here was all really well done. Comes from the factory with a very nice proprietary, they call it a proprietary convex edge that was quite keen. It doesn't look, I've got cold steel knives that, like my Sanmai Trailmaster, has a true perfectly convex edge. This one doesn't look as convex as it almost looks like a V, but they do call it a convex edge. But it is supposed to be hand ground and convexed. If you can get up close, more focus. It's very well done. Whatever it is. Whatever you want to call it. Very well done. This, you can see the temper mark. Svord softens the spines on them. So they're apparently at 58 Rockwell at the edge. They soften the spines up so that these are pure users. They're designed to be used. So you'll get really good performance out of them. You're not going to snap them or anything like that, hopefully, if you don't abuse them. And you'll get good edge stability at 58 Rockwell, especially with the 15N20 steel being really, really tough. And then the softened spines will allow the knife to work well with heavy chopping tasks. There's a close-up of the tip, of the clip. It does have a rounded point. I think they did that specifically for robustness. It still penetrates really well. It is rounded, if it ever will. Focus there. Overall, the knife, it's a brutal piece. But like I said in my initial impressions video, they're not pretty. They're if you're looking for a pretty knife, this is not it. You're not going to get one. But they are a perfectly serviceable and usable Bowie knife. They're designed for someone who wants to go and use the knife, take them out in the bush and use them. And that's exactly what I bought this one for. As far as the price goes, I bought this one for just under $300 Australian. It's a lot of money to pay for a fixed blade knife. But for what you get, I don't think I overpaid for it. Also, I will note, my old man's got a Von Tempsky as well. And I'd heard from other reviewers, they do ship with variances in spine thicknesses. Mine came with a 7mm spine. I've measured it. I've got a set of verniers. I measured it. It's a full 7mm. My old man's is 5mm. So they do ship with variances in spine thicknesses. My old man's feels a lot lighter. Mine is heavier, obviously, with the full 7mm spine thickness. So that's a consideration. If you buy it and they come with the lighter, with the thinner spine thickness, that's something you're going to have to judge for yourself whether you are going to be happy with that or not. Personally, I would not have been happy if I got a 5mm spine thickness. I bought this as a basher. I want something that's a bruiser, basically a sharpened pry bar, which this is. And I do say that as it's a little bit of a derogatory. Sharpened pry bars tend to be unwielding, but this isn't. It's heavy, but I'm a big fella, and when I loop up, it feels solid, and once I get it moving, the momentum, it's just going to plough through things and do exactly what I want it to do, and that's smash things and chop things and do things that lesser knives are not going to be able to do. And that's exactly what I bought it for. Just a big, brutal Bowie. And I think that's what they are. Now, as far as the original patent Von Tempsky's, like Von Tempsky's knife, this is not what the original Von Tempsky's were. The original patent was not faithfully reproduced. It was more of an old, probably more of a butcher's knife, probably a longer, maybe a drop point style, or maybe a clip point butcher's knife, crossed over. butcher's knife Bowie sort of hybrid style. This is more romanticised as a Bowie. And that's fine. We all understand that they take a little bit of artistic license when they're doing these things. It's a marketing ploy, and I'm happy with that. I'm glad I bought this anyway. And I'm happy with the way they presented it. You know, like it is what it is. Anyway, the pros for this knife. It's a rugged, heavy user Bowie knife. Everything Svord has done is keyed towards being a good, heavy user. From the steel choice, the differentially treated 58 Rockwell at the edge, to the softened spine, the full tang, the big heavy guard. It's all done to make it a good user. The cons for the knife, I can see, from what I see, it's a bit rough and ready. It's not very refined as such. The clip, as I said in my initial impressions, it looks like it's been done by a grinder. It is a little bit rough. If it will focus. And the other thing that I would consider that's a bit rough is the sheath. I don't like this clasp. It's not what I would consider ideal. The knife rubs on the inside there as you put the knife in. Hear it? You can hear it rubbing on the blade as it goes in. That's not ideal. And as far as I'm concerned, the belt loop need to be longer. It doesn't hang very well on the belt. I think I'm just going to say bugger it, and I'm going to make get a Kydex one made up for it, or I might actually attempt to make a Kydex one up for it. Put this one away and just not worry about this one. I have heard of the blades going through these as well, so that's not ideal either. And the other con is the fact that you need to camoform the handles to dampen vibrations. But overall, they're really good. Really good. User Bowies for what they are. You know, like you know what you're buying. If you're buying a Von Tempsky, you go in there with your eyes open, and if you watch reviews like this, you can see the knife for what it is. But anyway, that's my overview. As I said, I'll put all the stats in the description bar. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that knife. Von Tempsky Bowie. That's my overview. Overall, I'm very impressed with this knife. I've all long wanted one, and I'm thankful that I've got one now. Finally joined the brotherhood. Anyway, bit of a longer video than I normally make. Probably shows you how much I like it. Thanks for watching.